The web is a wonderful resource of information and entertainment, the overwhelming majority of it completely free. Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. YouTube, a huge treasure house of video, both amateur and professional. BBC News, one of the top 10 news sites in the world. And a list apart which offers top-notch articles on important trends in web development. These are just a few of the free resources you can access. But free doesn't mean you can just take content from a web page and incorporate it in a site of your own. You need to be aware of copyright, the legal principle that you must obtain the permission of the creator of literary and artistic works before copying or reproducing them. Now, you might not think of a news item or web tutorial as being literary or artistic, but they are all protected by copyright. The United Kingdom Intellectual Property Office website puts the situation in simple, clear terms. Copyright applies to the Internet in the same way as material in other media. For example, any photographs you place on the Internet will be protected in the same way as other artistic works. Any original written work will be protected as a literary work, and so on. But that's just the law in Britain, you might say. It's true that copyright law differs from country to country, but there are a number of international copyright agreements. The most important is the Berne Convention for the Protection of Literary and Artistic Works, which has been signed by most countries in the world, including the United States, Canada, all members of the European Union, Russia and China. Under the convention, member countries offer copyright protection to the nationals of other member countries. In other words, they respect the rules that apply in the original country of publication. So what is covered by copyright? Essentially, copyright covers any original work that involves independent creative effort. That could be a 1,000-page novel or a short tutorial on HTML. It covers websites, software and databases. Artistic works such as paintings, drawings, photographs, maps, even architecture are also covered. So are music, the spoken word, video and TV. The choreography for a ballet or musical also falls under copyright protection. Clearly, copyright covers a lot, but it doesn't cover everything. For example, no one can claim copyright in names, including domain names or titles. Nor can you copyright an idea. It's the implementation of the idea that's protected. So how do you go about protecting your website or photos? Basically, you don't have to do anything. Copyright is automatic. As soon as you publish a photograph, article, video or piece of music, it's protected. There's no need to register, although some countries, including the United States, have a government agency where you can register copyright. Registration is not actually needed to qualify for copyright protection. However, it's often a good idea to add a copyright notice to signal to others that they shouldn't copy without permission. The recommended format is the word copyright, followed by the copyright symbol, a C inside a circle, the year of publication, and the name of the author or creator. Copyright normally belongs to the creator, but if someone pays you to create something, it's important to establish who owns the copyright. If it's part of your job, there's no argument. The copyright belongs to your employer. If you do it as a freelance, the contract should specify who owns the copyright. If the contract specifies that it's work for hire, it normally means that the copyright belongs to the person or organization paying you. Although you normally need the copyright owner's permission to use a protected work, there are exceptions. No permission is needed for anything that's in the public domain. Many people mistakenly think that because something's on the internet, it's in the public domain. It isn't. Works usually enter the public domain because the copyright on them has expired. Shakespeare and Dickens are in the public domain, but contemporary material is not. Many people donate their works to the public by releasing them under Creative Commons or open source licenses. This allows you to copy or adapt them, but usually under specific conditions, such as attributing the original creator or non-commercial use. Even if a work is covered by copyright, you can sometimes reproduce it without permission under what's known as fair use or fair dealing. There are no specific can and can'ts, but fair use generally covers quoting a short extract or using a short clip of video for a review or contemporary news coverage. A couple of sentences or a few seconds of video is usually fine. A whole chapter or several minutes of video almost certainly is not. So far I've discussed copyright, but what about royalties? Copyright and royalties are not the same. Copyright gives the owner of original work the right to say if it can be reproduced and under what conditions. Royalties are payments made to the copyright owner each time a work is used, but in many cases the owner will grant permission without demanding payment, as long as the original source is acknowledged. In other words, no royalties are involved. When you're looking for good images or music to use in a website, consider using one of the many royalty-free libraries such as iStock Photo or Getty Images. Royalty-free means that a single fixed payment gives you the right to use the image or music. And if you're really strapped for cash, you might find what you need in the rather gruesomely named Morgue file. It's a repository of stock images that the original owners no longer want in their active catalogue, and you can use them completely free of charge. When using other people's material, keep on the safe side by following these simple principles. Unless it clearly states that it can be freely reproduced, always assume that it's protected. If in doubt, ask. Read the conditions of use carefully and follow them. If you receive a complaint from a copyright owner about unauthorized use, remove the material immediately. The longer you leave it on your website, the more likely the original owner will seek financial damages. Copyright is an important subject. To learn more, visit the online resources listed in this page, which you can find in the Web Basics Copyright folder in the Course Assets. Because each country has its own copyright law, there are links to resources in the United States, Canada, the UK and Australia, as well as a link to the Creative Commons. But in spite of national differences, the basic principles of copyright are universal. Copyright not only prevents you from using other people's text and images without permission, it also stops others stealing from your website. I've also included links to image libraries where you can get high-quality images at a reasonable cost, or even free from the Morgue file. If you visit only one of these links, make it the Stanford University Libraries site. Although it's based in the United States, it contains a lot of useful information that's relevant wherever you live, and there's a special section on website permissions.